Hello and welcome. I'm Jon Garlick, and welcome to Meet the Newsmakers. We're here with Alan Robinson.
Yes.
I keep wanting to pronounce both of your names wrong.
Yes, it happens very frequently.
Me. Yeah, well, with Garlick, you can imagine. You are the executive director of the Anniston Museums.
Yes, and Gardens.
And Gardens, which includes what those of us who have lived here for a while understand as the Anniston Museum of Natural History, the Berman Museum, and the Botanical Gardens.
The Longleaf Botanical Gardens.
Longleaf Botanical Gardens. I was just up at an event there a couple weeks ago.
Great. Have a good time?
I did. It was the 25th anniversary of CAST.
Oh, very good.
So that was fun.
Yes.
Been to several things there.
It is quite remarkable what this community has put together on our 120 acres.
Yeah.
Not just the Natural History Museum, but then the Berman Museum in the 90s, and then the effort to bring forth botanical gardens for Anniston. And so it's been a lot of fun, and it's a lot of work. Of course, nothing worth doing is easy.
Right.
But yes, we're putting together the botanical gardens as well, all throughout our 120 acres.
It's an amazing thing. And you know, when I first came to Anniston back in 1985, it was just the Natural History Museum. And you know, the remarkable things about these museums is there are things in there that you don't see anywhere else, even the Natural History Museum.
Yes.
The remarkable bird display, for an ineloquent term, the stuffed birds that are in there. But those are birds you won't see, and it's a fraction of a collection that was in the Chicago World's Fair back in the day, right?
Oh, it was plenty places. Yes, it was a collection of William Werner, who collected the specimens and scientifically recorded their locations. The clutches of eggs, which are not all on display, and he put them on display at, amongst other places, the boardwalk at Atlantic City.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yes, I called it Wonder World, along the planks on the, and it was lit with gas lights, and those cases that when you come to the museum and you see them in the cases, those are the cases that William Werner built in the 19th century. The cases, the murals, all of that they put in situ, as we call, was done by William Werner.
And it is a percentage of that collection, because some of it was destroyed in the fire, as I understand it.
I'm not sure about any fire.
In Chicago, the Chicago World's Fair fire,
Well, there was the Great Chicago Fire.
No, I thought there was a well. Anyway, it's a portion of the collection. What portion is it?
We have several. Well, overall, as a museum, you have about 15 to 20% of your collection on display at any one time.
Okay.
And that bird collection, a majority of it is on display, but there are some specimens inside that Werner collection that are not on display. So maybe 50% or so. And we rotate some of them on display and off of display. You always want to bring something out that people have not seen before.
Right.
And so that's what we do. It's quite a remarkable collection. The Werner collection was what really started the Anniston Museum back in 1930, because William Werner collected all these things. He lived in Pennsylvania, and when he died, his son sold that collection to a man by the name of Severin Regar, which may sound familiar because we have Regar Circle and Regar Road. And he was the one that brought that collection, as well as the things that he collected, to Anniston in 1930. And they established the museum downtown where the library is now.
Right. And then it moved to the fort, and then you brought in the Berman Museum, and you probably weren't here when Colonel Berman was alive.
Wish I was, but no, I was not.
I had the great privilege of meeting both he and his wife and touring that collection when it was in his house.
Very nice.
And it was fascinating. He had, obviously he has all kinds of things, but I being younger than I am now, said, well, Colonel, do you have any dueling pistols? I thought dueling pistols were cool. And he came back with, well, what country, what century? I'm like, I don't know. And he pointed to a table. And it was like a large coffee table. On the top of the table was a machine gun on a tripod. And he says, you see that machine gun on the tripod on that table? I said, yes, I do. You see all those boxes? He said, just pick one. They're all dueling pistols.
Wow.
So I just reached under there and pulled out a box of dueling pistols. And the most interesting one, which I don't think you have out in the collection, you should do a dueling pistol display.
Funny that you should mention that, John.
Oh, really?
Because next up in our traveling, changing exhibits in the Berman Museum will be the art of the duel.
He has, or had, I'm sure you have it now, in addition to all of these classic, wonderfully antique dueling pistols, he had a pair of plastic dueling pistols.
Plastic?
Yes, they're in that collection somewhere. They are, if I remember, they're gray. They're some composite plastic. I say plastic, they're a composite modern thing. And they're single shot. And they have a hand guard on the front of them. And he showed me those, and I said, well, these are dueling pistols. He said, yes, they are. They're practice dueling pistols. And I said, practice dueling pistols? And he said, yes. I said, but they're made out of 20th century material. And he goes, well, yeah. So, people are practicing dueling, which tells me that somewhere somebody's still dueling, which is an interesting thing.
Yes.
Well, that would I'd love to be there for that.
Yes.
When you unveil it. There's usually a cocktail party when you do that.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so.
That's it.
Now, you were not born here.
No, I was not.
You were recruited by the museum.
Yes.
And you came here for us. So you were telling me before we started you came from tell me where, Kentucky?
I came from this job from Clarksville, Tennessee. At the Customs House Museum there.
And what is that museum about?
That is a general interest museum. It's the second largest in the state of Tennessee. And it has art, children's, science, and the history of Clarksville and its immediate environment. And it's an interesting community in that you have several things converging together. It's part Army town because of Fort Campbell, which is right there. You're a bedroom community for Nashville. You also have a very, very strong agricultural base where the soil there is so unique that it has something called dark fire tobacco, which is an extremely high nicotine content tobacco leaf. And that's why back in the 1890s they created a customs house to tariff the tobacco going to world markets. There on the Cumberland River. It was an inland port, and they went out throughout the whole nation, and they were tariffing the tobacco going out to the market.
That's fascinating. And before that museum, were you director at that museum?
I was, yes.
And before that, I mean, I assume you've been in the museum business almost all your career.
Yes, exactly. Before Clarksville, I was in Macon, Georgia at the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame and Museum in downtown Macon. It was 43,000 square feet of exhibitry. We brought that museum out of the ground. It was a state museum. It was the compendium to the Georgia Music Hall of Fame at the time. That was a great opportunity to meet everybody who stepped foot, born, raised, did their career in Georgia. And
that's interesting.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So if one of our viewers might be a young high school kid wanting to be a museum director one day, what kind of education would they need post-high school?
Sure. The first thing is history. You're going to find yourself in a history degree. You're going to learn to write, and you're also going to learn how to take no for an answer.
Okay.
Well, you have to work through the no's. But in terms of working in a museum, it doesn't matter if it's an art museum, a science, a children's. The methodology is all the same. You want to be good at managing resources. Okay, museum work has its own degree. It's called Public History and Museum Science, and that's what I did when I was in graduate school in Dayton, Ohio at Wright State University.
Well, we're gonna take a break.
Oh, great!
Instead of a no, and we'll be right back. So stay with us here on Meet the Newsmakers.
I want to live. The leading cause of death of young Americans like me is gun violence, and oftentimes tied to substance misuse. NBA, NFL, NCAA, most of you look like me, and our communities need you now more than ever. Let's make I Want to Live more than just a hashtag. Let's make it a movement. I am a baller against bullets.
At Family Prosthetic and Medical Supply, we care about you. We offer custom prosthetics, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and durable medical supplies. We're located here in Alexandria, Alabama, where it's a country feel but professional care. Come see us today.
Hey guys, I'm Cameron Minton with Minton Home Center. Minton Home Center has been in business for over 40 years. We are a family-owned and operated manufactured home dealership. We offer affordable housing for our customers as well as a multitude of different financing options to help our customers get into a new home. When you come to Minton Home Center and you start looking around our lot, the first thing you will notice is that we have the most competitive prices in the industry.
Good afternoon, I'm Dr. Olubidi. I would like to welcome you to our clinic, which is virtually your clinic. We strive to provide a family environment from our nurses as well as the practitioners we have in the clinic to serve you and your family members. We pride ourselves for having state-of-the-art facility here in the clinic to include ultrasound, fibroscan to check on your liver. We welcome you in our clinic, your clinic at Dr. Olubidi's. And thank you so very much.
At DVP Auto Group, we have a wide selection of any type of car you could want. We offer financing for all types of credit. Not only can we help you to purchase a car affordably, but we can help you with any issues you may experience with your car as well. We provide oil change, tire repair, brake service, or anything else you may need. We also gladly accept trade-ins, and if you're willing, we can help you drive away in a new car the same day. If you don't see something you like in the lot, we'll help you find one, whether you buy from us or not. Come see us today.
The Point at JSU is an off-campus student housing property located a half a mile away from Jacksonville State University. The Point offers fully furnished, pet-friendly, 2 bedrooms and 4 bedroom units. Resident experience is our #1 priority, therefore we do offer the following amenities: a resort-style pool, fitness center, basketball and volleyball court, and dog park. We would love for you to come see our property, so give us a call at 256-376-8317 to schedule a tour today.
Hey, this is Jason at Reeves Insurance. Just want to say a quick thank you to all of our customers for your support over the years. We now have offices in Anniston, Alexandria, and Oxford in order to serve you better. So stop in and see me or any of our experienced staff and let us shop for you to find you the best price and the best coverage available. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to Classic 13. How can I help you?
I was thinking about getting a tattoo. Do I need to make an appointment?
No, we take walk-ins every day. Let's find someone to help you. Follow me. Okay, if you'll have a seat right here. Thank you.
Come down to Classic 13, where good tattoos aren't cheap, and cheap tattoos ain't good.
Welcome back to Meet the Newsmakers. I'm here with Alan Robinson, who's Executive Director.
Yes.
The only director.
The only
Executive Director of the Anniston Museums.
Yes.
And we were talking about how to become a museum professional. And you were saying there's a degree in that.
There is. When I went through back when dinosaurs roamed the earth in the early 90s, a master's degree in public history and museum science was a terminal degree.
Well, there you go.
In the years since then, they have created PhD programs, as most universities would like to keep their students. And so now you can get a doctorate in public history and museum work.
Really?
And yeah, so the program is it takes disciplinary. It's multidisciplinary to get what you need, because you have to be great at, like I said, writing. You have to be great at managing people. You have to be very, very good at writing. You have to speak very well.
Yep.
And you have to be able to tell what it is that you're doing, what is your mission, how are you benefiting the community, and why the support is needed for what you're looking to do.
And write grants.
And write grants.
And write
yes.
grants. That's
We're always writing grants.
Now you're a young man. You going back for your PhD?
I thought about it.
Now you have to do original research.
Yes.
To do it. So I know that there's some programs, some master's programs that don't have they are the terminal degree, because there is nothing new to be found. I had a friend, I think, who his master's is in costume design. And there was no PhD program because apparently everybody had done all the learning you could do on costumes from back in the day. So I don't know.
I don't know what you go for.
Well, yeah, so museum, you get your PhD, that's good.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking, in the first half about how unique the museum is.
Yes.
And is that one of the things that attracted you to come here?
Oh, definitely, yes. This is a unique opportunity. There really is nothing like the Anniston Museums and Gardens out there. You have such specialized museums these days. It's this or it's that, and it's very, very precise, like the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame, or something along those lines. And this has a natural history museum, a history museum, and botanical garden, all under one department inside the city of Anniston. And the collections at our two museums are unparalleled. The collections that have been gathered since the 19th century, in the case of the Natural History Museum, you just do not see anywhere. And that this community for 90 plus years has said yes and has made and built that campus into what it is today is very, very hard to find. When I talk to museum colleagues that come to visit, they'll say, how did this get here?
Yeah.
Because what you're looking at is from the outside is a town of 20-some thousand people in north central or east central Alabama. So how does this happen? And it takes a lot of dedicated people over the years to recognize what they have and to put it on display at use for the community. And it's very, very unique, very novel.
Truly, truly impressive. I've been to New York museums, and I go to DC quite a bit, and have been to those museums. And in Washington, D.C., the Natural History Museum in Washington, D.C., I like ours better. Yeah. You get to see more. It's intimate. Yes. There's not billions of people walking around. And the art museum, you've got some art, not quite like them, but and then of course, if you want to talk spy museum, our spy museum is where. Now theirs is wonderfully curated in DC. It's kind of a fun adventure, but you want to see spy gadgets. That's the Berman. Yeah, you've got all the spy gadgets.
Yes,
it's much more interesting. So now you were born and raised in Iowa.
Iowa City, Iowa, home of the Hawkeyes. Yes.
Home of the Hawkeyes. Is that where Captain Kirk was from? Was he from Iowa?
He is from Iowa. He's from Riverside, Iowa.
Riverside, Iowa.
It's a funny side story, because Riverside is just south of Iowa City, and they were looking for a festival or do something to build some sort of tourism. And somebody in the town came to a city council meeting and said, hey, it says in the the Star Trek history that he was born in Iowa. Why can't he be born in the future here in Riverside? And they went, sure. And on their town square, they built Enterprise.
Oh, that's funny.
Ship. And they say future birthplace of James Tiberius Kirk. And people came. They've had conventions up there. Yeah.
Has William Shatner been there?
He's been there.
I'm sure he has.
So yes, it's funny that you mentioned that, but yeah, very enterprising people. No pun intended. That just happened. I did not intend that one.
Iowa's just, why do people go to Iowa?
That's right. Hey, I tell you what, you grow things there, you build things there. It's a very diverse state.
So before we talk about what's coming up at the museum,
Sure.
I'm really curious, how does a young man growing up in Iowa
Yes.
decide that museums are going to be his life's calling?
Well, like a lot of people in the museum world, we kind of find our way there, and we didn't expect to come there. I started as a physics major. I was going to be astrophysicist, working in a planetarium somewhere. And the very first semester, when I was in physics and calc classes, I went, yeah, this is okay, but I don't
That
think
was my
this
response to physics.
Yeah, this wasn't for me. I was great at it in high school, but it just really didn't. And then I had an intro to history course, just a regular survey, and it was taught in a way that I had never heard before. I'd always been taught like 90% of humanity by the gym teacher, right? Who's daytiming before sports starts, right? And it just totally blew the doors off of what that study entailed. And I found that I could write really well. I really enjoyed the research and the investigative process that we have to go through to learn what you have to do history well.
And where was the first museum you worked at?
I worked in Amana, Iowa, the Amana Historical Society, the longest communal society in America. Over 90-some years they lived communally.
Are they still?
No, they broke up during the Depression.
Okay.
It was an economic communal society, and once the crash went on, they split it up into a corporation. Oh. But they were German separatists. They had been persecuted religiously. It was a religious organization, and they came to America to escape persecution and death for their religious beliefs. And they came to Iowa. They were a short time in Buffalo, New York. Then they came to Amana, Iowa, and they built European-style villages on their farmlands. So you lived in the village and you went out to the farms.
Oh, wow.
And you can still see them. They're all still there. It's a very unique place to go. And we interpreted that. And those museums had no artifact labels or graphic panels. You, as the guide, were responsible for telling the story to everybody who walked through the door. So that was a baptism by fire in terms of how do you speak to people and how do you convey the information that they're looking for and what you need to tell them.
Well, you tell us what's coming up.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a lot of programs at the Anniston Museums and Gardens. The biggie is going to be coming up on October 12th, called Fall Fest.
Fall Fest.
Yes, Fall Fest. And we have all kinds of people coming. We have the McWane Science Center will be there. We have let's see if I could read through this. Yes, Wings to Soar will be doing a flighted bird program.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and there'll be vendors there. There'll be military vehicles coming. We have Smokey the Bear. From the combat park, we'll have a military vehicle coming. The police department will be bringing their tank along with them. So it's going to be fun for all ages.
And in the last 50 seconds that we've got, what's the second event you've got going?
We have Decades Dance. Everything that we do, all those programs that we do, we would love to do them for free, but it takes funding to make everything happen. And this is one of our main fundraisers called Decades Dance. Last year we did the 1920s, and dress was encouraged, and you got to sing, dance, and have dinner in the 1920s. This year is going to be a 1980s theme. Oh yeah, everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Everybody should join the museum, and want to thank you for tuning in to Meet the Newsmakers. I'm Jon Garlick, and we'll see you again next week.
Penguin's Bar and Grill. Come down for our amazing bar, stocked with everything you could want, and our amazing food, ranging from whole pizzas all the way to oysters. Our food is cooked fresh and brought to you with amazing service. For the best food and drinks, come to Penguin's Bar and Grill.
At Alexandria Brake and Muffler, we strive to perform exceptional service using premium quality parts to ensure your vehicle withstands the test of time. We do all automotive maintenance and repairs consisting of AC service, check engine light diagnostics, brakes, coolant, and exhaust. Give us a call today. Proudly serving our community to provide honest, high-quality service and repair at a fair price.
Hello, my name is Bob Couch, and I'm the owner of Couch's Jewelers. We are your destination for engagement rings, wedding bands, and anniversary and birthday gifts. We offer a wide selection of the best value diamond jewelry and engagement rings. We even gift wrap every purchase for free. And if you have some jewelry that is broken, no worries. Expert jewelry service is offered in-house. At Couch's Jewelers, our customer service is unmatched. If you'd like a special jewelry item created just for you, please come to see us.
Discover why Hungry Hut Barbecue has been Etowah County's go-to for mouth-watering barbecue for 40 years. If you're not in the mood for barbecue, try our very popular chicken finger plate with fried green tomatoes of our famous fried pickles. And don't forget about our drive-thru. Come down to Hungry Hut's Barbecue today.
At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We are on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. So come to Southern States Bank, where we are committed to great service and being a great neighbor. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
Discover a world of cool at Cosmic Debris in downtown Gadsden. Whether you're searching for smoking accessories, funky t-shirts, or hippie clothing, we've got it all. Explore our unique jewelry, immerse yourself in the scents of our incense, and dive into our collection of new and used vinyl, CDs, and DVDs. From the groovy to the eclectic, Cosmic Debris has everything funky and cool. Visit us today and step into a world of cool at Cosmic Debris.
Serving Calhoun County and the state of Alabama since 1994, locally owned and operated, offering some of the most competitive interest rates in the mortgage industry, along with a wide variety of mortgage products. We are with you throughout the home buying process, offering you service before and after the close. Fast, reliable, local.
And you remember, if you need a home loan, call my daddy.
When you buy insurance online, you may not always be aware of what you're getting. At Allstate Jonathan Everly, we pride ourselves on making sure that our clients are adequately protected. With over 18 years in experience, our staff is more than well prepared to provide you with the best service available. At Allstate Jonathan Everly, you're in good hands.
In the fight against breast cancer, we will never surrender. Every day, brave hearts and strong souls come together to face this challenge head on. On Saturday, September 28th at 9 a.m., Morelia Vineyards and Winery in Hoax Bluff will host a 5K to raise money for Never Surrender in the fight against breast cancer and help save lives in our community. It is $30 to pre-register. Sign up today at runsignup.com.